I returned to my home country with millions in assets and attended the baby shower of an old classmate's child. To my surprise, the woman holding and nursing the baby was my wife, Emily, whom I had been married to for 5 years. Our old classmate, Michael, asked her, "What will happen if he finds out?" Emily responded, "So what if he finds out? He can't live without me." A bitter feeling welled up in my chest as I dialed my partner's number. "Earlier, you mentioned the idea of me staying abroad as a partner. I've decided to agree to it." Chapter 1. That's great. With you joining the firm, we'll definitely be able to take things to the next level. I'll arrange everything, and in 3 days, we'll head abroad together. My partner's excited voice echoed in my ear, and I couldn't help but smile slightly, infected by his enthusiasm. Just then, the front door opened. Emily, in a loose maternity outfit, stared at me in surprise, and the baby items she was holding fell to the floor. "Why did you suddenly come back?" she asked, flustered as she scrambled to pick things up, avoiding my gaze. I remained silent, watching her quietly. A year ago, when I was assigned to work abroad, Emily, still under my care after 4 years of marriage, was as radiant as a young girl. Now she looked tired, her figure so swollen that even the loose clothes couldn't hide it. I felt sorry for her, but she seemed to be willingly degrading herself. Maybe what I gave her was never what she truly wanted. Seeing that I didn't speak, she seemed to finally remember what day it was. "Did you come back to celebrate our anniversary? You should have told me in advance." She actually began to complain to me. Seeing that I still didn't respond, she glanced at the dining table, then at my empty hands, and her face changed instantly. "If we're celebrating, why didn't you cook? Where's my gift?" In the 5 years since our marriage, I had always treated her as my precious. Every holiday was an excuse for me to pamper her. I would prepare a lavish meal in advance and get her the gift she wanted the most to win her favor. But today, I didn't need to do that. Her happy face holding the child at the banquet kept flashing through my mind. "I'm too tired today. Don't feel like moving," I gave a perfunctory reply. The next moment, she actually threw her bag in anger. With a loud thud, it hit the ground. "David, after a whole year apart, this is how you treat me," she yelled at me, forgetting entirely how she had treated me. Had this been in the past, I would have started a hysterical interrogation about what was going on with the child. But everything that happened today made me lose the desire to ask. The love I had for her shattered into pieces the moment I saw the child. I no longer had any expectations for her. I stood up and stared at her coldly. "What? Weren't you full at the banquet?" She froze for a moment. After a while, she said, "You know I went to Michael's baby shower, right? Michael, our old classmate from college." Of course I remembered. He was her ex, but they had only dated for 3 months before he broke up with her. When she told me about this past, she had mocked him disdainfully. I was so blind back then, getting involved with Michael. Now he's begging me, but I wouldn't look at him even if he were on his knees. I believed her words, but in the end, it turned out I was the blind one. Perhaps feeling guilty, she used the excuse of going to the bathroom to escape. As soon as I heard the water running in the bathroom, I opened my phone and saw a new post from Michael. In the photo, he was holding a 1-month-old baby, his face full of happiness. The caption read, "Thank you for fulfilling my mother's last wish, completing my life." A sharp pain tore through my heart. What a perfect life. But what about my mom and me? For 4 years after our marriage, I had wanted a child, but Emily always pouted and said she wasn't ready. Then, a year ago, my mother passed away in a car accident. Her last words were, "My son, the greatest regret of my life is that I didn't live to see you have a child. I'm sorry. I've let you down, Mom. I'm sorry I failed you. I was blind and chose the wrong person. I let you die with this regret." As I was lost in those memories, Emily came out of the bathroom. Seeing my red eyes, she rushed into my arms. Chapter 2. "I'm sorry, darling. I shouldn't have spoken to you like that just now." She still had that familiar scent of jasmine shower gel. I used to love the smell of her skin after a shower. Every time she finished bathing, I would hold her for a long time. But now it made me feel nauseous, like I might throw up. I reached out and pushed her away. "No need." Her expression stiffened, and she seemed to want to explode but held it in. "You haven't eaten dinner yet, right? Let me cook some noodles for you." This was probably the first time she had ever actively offered to cook for me, but I didn't feel happy at all. Just as I was about to refuse, she had already walked into the kitchen and started getting busy. her long hair cascading over her shoulders. The warm scene used to be what I dreamed of. Suddenly, her phone, which had been placed on the shoe cabinet, rang. I turned my head unintentionally and caught a glimpse of the incoming call. My heart felt like it was stabbed again. The caller ID showed husband, but I was clearly sitting right behind her. She rushed out of the kitchen and answered the phone right in front of me. "Hello, Michael. Don't worry, I'll be right over." She hung up and, while putting on her shoes, didn't even glance at me. "Honey, Michael's baby seems to be sick and won't stop crying. He's a man, so he doesn't know what to do. I'm going over to check on him." She added, "Michael's wife died during childbirth, and he couldn't handle it, so he asked me for help. Don't misunderstand." I almost laughed in anger. To lie to me, she even cursed herself. "You can go," I interrupted her explanation in a calm tone. She gave me a surprised look, but in the end, she still chose to rush off to Michael. She didn't come back for a long time. After I finished washing up and lay down, I saw that Michael had updated his social media again. The photo showed a bowl of half-eaten noodles, with Emily in the background breastfeeding the baby. It was a live video and the sound. I heard Michael ask, "Can you stay the night?" Emily's answer was immediate. "Sure. I'll find a way to explain it to him." I turned my head to look at the kitchen. The noodles were still in the pot, half-cooked and untouched, just like the marriage I had insisted on for 5 years, abandoned halfway because the leading lady was now cooking noodles for someone else, soothing a child, and staying over. I liked Michael's post. He deleted it immediately the next second. Then Emily's call came through. "Honey, the baby has a bit of a fever and needs someone to take care of him. I won't be coming home tonight. But don't misunderstand. I'm just helping Michael out. We have clear boundaries." Clear boundaries? After so many lies, his having a child with her, I didn't even feel a ripple in my heart. "Do whatever you want. I'm going to sleep." I hung up the phone and closed my eyes, but memories of my past with Emily flooded my mind. The bright moon once illuminated me too. Back then, we were college classmates. She was the campus beauty, and I was the campus heartthrob. Everyone said we were a perfect match, but I didn't think much of her at the time because she had so many admirers. It wasn't until a party when she actively stood up to block someone from forcing drinks on me, her slender figure standing in front of me like an angel, that I started to fall for her. From that day on, I was deeply infatuated, starting a 3-year-long secret crush. When we graduated, rumors spread that she had cheated and her reputation plummeted. I didn't hesitate to confess my feelings for her, helping to clear her name. She gratefully rushed into my arms, swearing to me, "In this lifetime, I will never betray you." After marriage, we were happy. I once thought we would have a perfect ending like in a TV drama, but reality slapped me hard in the face. The next day, Emily still didn't come home. She only sent me a text saying she was still taking care of Michael's child. I didn't reply. The next morning, I heard sounds coming from the kitchen. Following the smell of food, I walked out of the bedroom to find Emily wearing an apron, smiling at me just like in my old dreams. "Honey, you're awake. Go wash up and have breakfast." Chapter 3. I used to be lost in the beautiful dreams I had woven for myself, but now it was time to wake up. I walked to the sofa and sat down, shaking my head at Emily. "I don't want to eat." Her face changed, and she was about to snap at me. I spoke up before she could. "Let's talk." "Talk about what?" Emily was confused, still wearing the apron, looking like a perfect wife and mother, but all of this change wasn't because of me. When she sat down, I said flatly, "Let's talk about your studies this past year." A year ago, when I was sent abroad for work, I accidentally found out she had quit her job. When I asked her over the phone, she stammered and told me, "Actually, I got into graduate school. I didn't tell you because I was afraid you'd oppose me going back to study." How could I oppose her studying? 3 years of secret love, 5 years of marriage, 8 years in total. I was like her trained dog. She threw a paper ball, and I wagged my tail to fetch it. Not only did I not oppose her, I even sent her 50,000 yuan for her tuition. Now I realized that money was spent as nutrition for her pregnancy. That child was healthy and chubby, and part of it was thanks to me. "Why are you suddenly asking about this?" Emily's face turned pale, unsure how to cover up the lie. After all, it takes 100 lies to cover up one. Looking at her, I couldn't be bothered to keep questioning her. I directly pulled out the photos I had taken at the baby shower and laid them on the table. "How long were you planning to keep lying to me?" The room went quiet for a few seconds, and the color drained completely from Emily's face. She jumped up, and her first reaction was to question me. "You secretly went to the baby shower a few days ago? Why didn't you tell me?" I stared at her. "If I told you, would you have enjoyed this little show?" She froze for a moment, then became righteous. "This isn't betrayal. I was just helping Michael. His mother was really sick a year ago, and her dying wish was to hold her grandchild. You don't understand. He and his mom were so pitiful back then. If you were me, you'd choose to help too." My eyes turned red. They were pitiful? What about my mom and me? My mother passed away with regrets, and she saw everything. But she never wanted to have children with me. Did she really love me? I didn't say I wouldn't have children with you. Your mom just had a short life and didn't make it to that day. My whole body stiffened, and my heart completely died. Up until this point, I had thought Emily was just morally corrupt, but I never realized that she had no heart at all, let alone love for me. I stood up, raised my hand, and slapped her hard across the face. "Try insulting my mom again and see what happens." She covered her face, stunned and incredulous. "You dare hit me, David? Have you gone mad? Get down on your knees and apologize now. Otherwise, I'll divorce you immediately." She always thought I couldn't live without her. After all, in the 5 years of our marriage, every time she mentioned divorce, I would cry and beg her, telling her how much I couldn't live without her. But this time, I couldn't kneel. My heart was no longer hers. No need for an otherwise. Let's just get a divorce. Chapter 4. I directly threw the divorce papers in front of Emily. She picked them up, glanced at them, and then threw them back at my chest. "David, do you really think you can live better without me? After 5 years of marriage, you're still living in the shabby house your mom left you. Which woman would look at you except for me? I advise you to take back what you just said before I'm completely disappointed in you." I smiled slightly. She used to say things like that, and it didn't bother me. But now, under my leadership, the firm abroad had already turned a significant profit. The $1 million reward the company promised me had already been transferred to my account. I hadn't said anything beforehand because I wanted to surprise her. Now I'm glad I kept it a secret. "But I'm already completely disappointed in you," I said calmly. She froze for a moment, her face full of disbelief. For 8 years I had been humble, but suddenly I wasn't the same anymore. She couldn't dare to believe it, and she didn't want to. She suddenly turned and left. "Take some time to cool down. Apologize when you've thought it through. If I hadn't done anything wrong, why would I apologize?" I watched her leave without trying to stop her because I still had a lot to do. I took down all our wedding photos and threw them in the trash. I also discarded every trace of my existence in this house, including the sofa, the TV, the bed I had bought. Finally, I called the realtor to come take photos and put the house up for sale. Once everything was done, I grabbed my suitcase and headed downstairs. Just as I was about to hail a taxi by the side of the road, I noticed Michael holding the baby. He walked straight towards me. "David, you're really going to divorce Emily over a child? Don't misunderstand me. I don't mean anything by it. I just wanted to say if you're willing to let go, that would be great. After all, Emily will be mine then." He really thought I had no temper. I raised my fist and punched him in the face. He howled in pain and staggered back a step. The baby in his arms was startled and cried loudly. "Bastard! How dare you?" Without caring, he put the screaming baby back in the car and grabbed my collar, trying to retaliate. I caught his wrist, but suddenly a furious shout came from behind. "David, stop!" Emily, holding a pack of diapers, rushed over. As she reached us, Michael immediately became an actor. He suddenly knelt in front of me with a loud thud. "David, I know I've wronged you. I shouldn't have asked Emily to help me have a child, but no matter what, the child is innocent. How can you hit my child? If you're really angry, I'll disappear with the child forever." His nose was still bleeding, and he was a mess. Emily, her face flushed with anger, threw the diapers at me and kicked my knee. I wasn't ready for it, and the sudden pain made me bend down, clutching my knee. On the day I came back, I had been in such a rush to see her when I got off the plane that I tripped and fell down the steps, injuring my knee. But she didn't care. She just screamed at me. "David, you bastard. What did the child ever do wrong?" I was in so much pain that I couldn't even make a sound. Only then did Emily glance down at me, noticing the blood stains soaking through my pants. Her expression changed with panic. "David, what's happened to your leg?" Before she could finish, Michael's voice called out from behind her. "Emily, the baby's not crying anymore. Come quickly and check." Without hesitation, Emily abandoned me again and rushed toward Michael and the child. She picked up the baby, looked at him, and immediately told Michael, "Let's go to the hospital." As they got into the car, she looked back at me through the window. "David, I'll settle this with you when I come back." Once their car was out of sight, I got into a taxi to the airport. At the airport, not long after, I saw Michael had updated his status again. In the photo, his nose was wrapped in bandages, but his smile was smug. The caption read, "Someone promised to make it up to me by giving me a second child. Finally, I can have a perfect family with both a son and a daughter." The airport announced my flight was boarding. As I walked up the stairs, I sent Michael a message. "Hope you have a whole football team." Then I turned off my phone, threw my SIM card away, and boarded the plane in one smooth motion. Chapter 5. The first thing I did after arriving abroad was buy a house for myself. I had stayed abroad for a whole year, but in order to save money and give Emily a better life, I hadn't rented a place. I had been living in the dormitory arranged by the company, but now I could finally spend money on myself without hesitation. After buying the house, I went ahead and bought a car too. When I drove to the office, I was warmly welcomed by everyone. They all congratulated me for becoming a partner and reaching the peak of my career. As I looked at my very own partner office, I couldn't help but laugh. They say there are 3 great joys in life: getting promoted, making money, and burying your wife. My wife didn't die, but she might as well have. A fellow partner quietly asked me, "David, I thought you said you were going back to your wife and hometown. Why did you suddenly agree to come abroad?" I responded directly, "She's dead." The partner thought I was joking, but my gaze was firm. He paused for a moment and then patted me on the shoulder. "My condolences. You know, I have a good friend whose daughter is about your age. She's a nice girl. How about I introduce you to her?" I shook my head. It wasn't because I still had feelings for Emily. It was simply because my marriage wasn't over yet, and I didn't want to waste this girl's time. The next morning, I called a seasoned divorce lawyer. Upon hearing my situation, he was filled with righteous anger. "Don't worry, you've definitely got the upper hand in this case. After all, there's plenty of evidence of your wife's affair. The man, their social circle, the photos you took. These are all proof. I'll file a lawsuit for you and make sure she walks away with nothing. She won't get a penny from you. Just wait for the good news." I had just become a partner and had a lot of work to do, so I entrusted the entire divorce process to the lawyer. Before the lawyer got back to me, I received some good news from a real estate agent in hometown. "Mr. E, your property has been viewed by a buyer. He's very satisfied and wants to sign the contract immediately. When would you like to come over to finalize things?" I thought I could handle it remotely, but the agent said, "No, you have to be here in person. This is a contract worth over $1 million, and no one wants to take responsibility if something goes wrong." I reluctantly agreed. "Fine, I'll come over this weekend." Half a month after arriving abroad, I bought a return flight ticket to hometown. This time, however, I wasn't flying in economy class. I had upgraded to business class. As soon as I sat down, I realized how spacious the seats were and how sweet the flight attendant smiles were. Leaving Emily behind, life could actually be this good. When I landed, I immediately headed to the signing center. But just as I was about to enter, I was shocked by a woman standing at the door, her hair disheveled and her appearance unkempt. It was cold, but she was wearing a thin, long dress. Her long hair, which seemed to have been unwashed for days, was greasy and stuck to her face. Only when she rushed toward me did I recognize her. This beggar-like woman was Emily. I was stunned. I had thought that after leaving me, she would smoothly be with Michael and have a second child. Her life should have been better by now, but she marched straight up to me, staring at me in disbelief. "David, it's really you. You're back." I didn't know how to respond, and before I could say anything, she yanked at her neck veins and yelled, "Where have you been these past few weeks? I couldn't find you anywhere. You didn't answer your phone. You didn't reply to my messages. What are you trying to do? Are you done yet?" Her shouting made my ears ring. Just then, the agent came out and saw me, calling out, "Mr. E, you're here. Quick, quick. The buyer is waiting for you inside." But Emily suddenly pointed at the agent and yelled at me, "David, this is the guy. He changed the locks on our house. He won't let me back in. He brought people to show the house, trying to sell it behind my back. You have to call the police." Emily seemed to have lost her mind. I pushed her hand off my clothes and spoke calmly. "I changed the locks. I also told him to sell the house. Emily, have you forgotten? I already told you that I want a divorce. You're free now. You can have as many children with Michael as you want. Chapter 6. The scene was quiet, and I was sure Emily had heard what I said. I was also certain that in the past week, my divorce lawyer had already been in touch with her. But I didn't understand why she was pretending not to know. I didn't care to say more, so I signaled the agent to get ready to go inside and sign the contract. At that moment, Emily blocked my path. She shakily raised her hand, showing me the wedding ring I had given her 5 years ago when I proposed. The diamond was small back then. I was poor, but I had sworn to her, when I make money, I'll buy you a diamond 10 or 100 times bigger than this. I'll make sure you never have to live in hardship. With tears in her eyes, she pointed to the ring and said, "Husband, don't you remember? When you put this ring on my finger, you promised you'd always treat me well. I've never taken it off." I turned my face away. I've forgotten. In fact, on the day I returned to hometown for a baby shower, I brought back $1 million pink diamond, intending to give it to her. But she betrayed me. David, how could you do this to me? There were so many guys who liked me back in school. I chose you, someone who had nothing. Now you've wasted 5 years of my youth, and you're throwing me away. I won't agree to this. So it wasn't about her disagreement. It was about her unwillingness to let go because I had demanded she leave with nothing. I smiled. If you won't divorce, we'll go to court. I can drag this on, but what about you? Michael is waiting for you to go home. The child needs you too. How long can you drag this out? I expected Emily to be furious and hit me, so I even took a step back. But to my surprise, Emily stood there quietly, tears streaming down her face, dropping in large droplets. David, I swear there's nothing between Michael and me. I was about to interrupt her lies when she pulled out a crumpled document. There's no intimacy between us. The child was conceived through IVF. How could I betray you? She looked at me with tear-filled eyes, pitiful beyond words. For a moment, I saw the girl from the past, the one who would cry as soon as she was upset, standing in front of me. Back then, whenever she cried, I wanted nothing more than to give her my heart. But now, seeing her like this, I felt no sympathy at all. Whether the child was conceived naturally or through IVF didn't matter anymore. I'm divorcing you. Just as I was about to leave, Emily started crying hysterically. Suddenly, I heard Michael's voice from behind. David, you're a real bastard. You have no sympathy for her. Even if you want a divorce, you shouldn't leave Emily with nothing. She's been with you for 5 years. She may not have achieved anything, but she's endured a lot for you. I didn't know whether to laugh or not. For these 5 years, I had been supporting Emily. I hadn't given her a life of luxury, but I'd never treated her unfairly. I turned to Michael and asked, "She's had a child for you. And what have you given her in return?" Michael's face stiffened, and he was at a loss for words. I sneered. Michael cursed at me from behind. "I've always told Emily not to get involved with someone like you, a so-called Phoenix man. When it comes to divorce, you'd want to strip a woman bare. Don't worry, I'll take care of Emily from now on and give her the best life. You poor bastard can just wait." I didn't look back as I walked into the signing center. After selling the house, $1.5 million was directly transferred to my account. My return flight was tomorrow. I went to the hotel and dropped off my luggage. Just as I settled in, Emily actually called me. "David, please save me." Chapter 7. I had no idea what kind of trick Emily was trying to pull this time. I was on high alert. "If you need help, you should be calling the police," I said. But she cried, "No, the police can't help me. My child has been diagnosed with congenital heart disease and needs heart bypass surgery. Only you can help me now." I was at a loss for words. Whenever something good happens, I'm not the one she thinks of, but when she needs money, I'm the first person she calls. She never fails to disappoint me. Without hesitation, I rejected her. "I don't have the money." She was stunned. "David, no matter how much you hate me, the child is innocent. How can you just stand there and watch as the child suffers without treatment? Do you have no compassion?" I almost laughed in anger. The child isn't even mine. Why should I feel compassionate? Besides, just recently, Michael had been cursing me out as a poor Phoenix man, claiming he would take care of you. I asked her, "You're not calling the child's father. You're calling me. Are you out of your mind?" Emily stammered. He can't come up with that much money." "Money?" What he said before was just to put on a front. This time I really laughed, but that laugh quickly faded. Michael had nothing, and yet she was willing to have his child. Meanwhile, I had given her everything, and she still wouldn't love me in return. Before I could speak, Emily said again, "You just sold the house and got a large sum of money, didn't you? Please lend me 500,000. With my current financial standing, 500,000 wasn't a problem. But if that money was going to save Michael's child, that was a different matter. I didn't have a saintly heart. I would love to punch Michael again. I blurted out, "Why should I? You don't really think I still love you, do you?" There was silence on the other end of the line. It was as if Emily had died. After a long pause, she spoke, her voice cracking with tears. "I don't dare hope, but if you lend me this money, I'll agree to divorce you. Is that okay?" She was so humble that it was as if she had fallen into the dirt. But I felt no pleasure, only relief. I agreed immediately. "Fine, I'll give it to you. As long as it meant cutting ties with her, I would spend 50,000, 500,000, whatever it took." I took the bank card and went to the hospital. Emily was leaning against the wall, covering her face and crying. I pretended not to see her, simply handing her the card and pulling out a piece of paper and a pen. "Words aren't enough. Write me a promissory note to prove that this 500,000 is buying out our marriage." 500,000 to buy out a marriage. When I said that, her tears flowed like a faucet. I had done my final duty now. I gave her a warning: don't rely on men to live. Get a job. You can't count on someone like Michael. As soon as the words left my mouth, Michael suddenly charged at me. When his fist came at me, I caught it with my hand and then kicked him hard in the knee, just like the day Emily had hit me for him. Michael screamed in pain, clutching his knee and collapsing to the ground. To my surprise, Emily didn't rush to help him. Michael, furious, yelled, "David, you poor bastard. Stop pretending. You only got some money from selling your house, and now you think you're a savior." His voice cut off abruptly. I pulled out my phone and showed him my bank account balance. There were so many zeros at the end of the number that I hadn't even bothered to count them myself. "Sure, I'm not as great as you. I'm just a partner now, making over 10 million a year from dividends." The place fell into dead silence. I took the signed promissory note from Emily and left. "Emily, 9 a.m. tomorrow at the Civil Affairs Bureau." The next morning, I waited for a long time, but Emily didn't show up. When I tried calling her, her phone was unreachable. Just when I was about to call the police, they found me first. "Hello, are you David, Emily's husband?" Chapter 8. I didn't confirm or deny anything. I just asked, has something happened to her? I had many scenarios running through my mind, but never the one the police described. "She's on the overpass and threatening to jump into the sea. She's been there for over an hour now, and we can't convince her to come down. We need you to come with us to the scene." I got into the police car. At that point, I still didn't realize how serious the situation was. It wasn't until I started receiving messages from some old classmates that I understood the magnitude of what was happening. "David, you're trending. Damn, I never thought you'd be this kind of guy. Emily was our campus goddess. How could you treat her like this?" I opened the class group chat and was immediately shocked by the flurry of messages. Everyone was talking about my divorce with Emily, but the story they were telling was completely different from the truth. In this version, I was a heartless villain. I hadn't gone abroad to give Emily a better life. I had gone to keep other women there. I had brought back over 10 million, but the first thing I did was ask Emily for a divorce. When she refused, I secretly sold the house and fled abroad by myself. Now Emily's child was seriously ill in the hospital, and I was allegedly threatening her to sign divorce papers before I would give her money for the treatment. That was why Emily had apparently been pushed to the edge and tried to take her life. The reason people were so sure of this version of events was because Michael had sent out screenshots of their conversations, where he solemnly swore with his honor that everything was true. I couldn't help but laugh at the audacity of those two. The police probably thought I had lost my mind. When we reached the overpass, Emily was standing outside the guardrail, looking ready to fall. There were countless media and onlookers around her, all trying to talk her down. "Miss, there are plenty of other men out there. You can find someone better." I couldn't help but nod. Right, there's more than one man in the world. She doesn't need to leech off of me. At that moment, the police called out to Emily, "Miss, your husband is here." Emily whipped around, and I could see the tears in her eyes. As soon as the crowd recognized me, they went wild, pointing at me and shouting. I used to be that simp, but I wasn't a fool. This wasn't just about my reputation anymore. It was about my future. I immediately pulled out all the evidence I had gathered on Emily's infidelity in this marriage. "I'm the victim. Please get it straight." When the evidence was laid out, the crowd fell silent. But soon some voices started to speak up. With AI technology being so advanced nowadays, who knows if these photos and videos are fake? Exactly. If she really cheated, why would she refuse a divorce? She's about to jump off a bridge, you heartless bastard. The crowd became more agitated, and the police tried to intervene. But once one person started, the mob followed. Everyone rushed towards me, punching and kicking. I wanted to explain, but no one would listen. I was curled up on the ground, covered in bruises and blood. Just as I was about to give up, I heard Emily's voice behind me. Stop. David is telling the truth. I'm the one who wronged him. It was me who cheated on him and had a child with another man. I was the one who made the mistake. David, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Say sorry. I have no demands from you. I won't even ask you to pay back the money. I just want you to keep your promise from yesterday and go with me to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get the divorce. As soon as I finished speaking, there was a loud splash. A massive wave of water erupted from the surface. Emily had jumped off the bridge. Chapter 9. The police immediately launched a rescue operation at the scene. The river was rushing with swift currents. Emily surfaced a couple of times, then quickly disappeared beneath the water. Seeing this, I didn't hesitate. I stripped off my clothes and jumped straight in. Thanks to my long-time habit of swimming and keeping fit, diving wasn't a problem for me. I quickly found Emily underwater and pulled her onto the shore. Her face was pale, and only after some emergency treatment did her eyes slowly open. The moment she saw me, a spark of light appeared in her eyes. David, I knew you still. I pushed her hand away when she reached for me. No, I just wanted to make sure you signed the divorce papers before you died. Being divorced is luckier than being widowed. The crowd erupted in laughter. Emily's face turned ashen. I grabbed my jacket and walked off with a nonchalant air as the crowd cheered. The next morning, I finally saw Emily staggering toward me. Her face was even paler than yesterday, like something terrible had happened, but I didn't ask. Come on, let's get this over with. Sign the papers. She hesitated but didn't speak. When I got the divorce certificate, a huge weight was lifted from my heart. On that sunny morning, Emily called out to me, David, if there's a next life, I'll never disappoint you again. She screamed it with all her might, but I remained unmoved. Her dramatic actions had already gone viral the day before, and the scandal about her having a child with Michael was spreading everywhere. The label of scumbag was finally removed from me. Meanwhile, Emily and Michael became public enemies, the most hated people in the city. I took the divorce certificate and returned abroad. I thought I would never hear from Emily again, but 3 months later, an email arrived in my inbox. It was scheduled to be sent by Emily. In the email, she revealed something that sent a chill down my spine. It turned out that on the day she and I went to finalize the divorce, their child had died in the rental apartment. I was shocked. I had given her the money, but the rest of the email exposed the truth. The $500,000 I gave her had been taken by Michael, who claimed he would use it for the medical bills, but, instead, behind Emily's back, Michael had canceled the surgery and sent the fragile baby back to the rental apartment, letting the child die slowly. By the time Emily found out, it was too late. She hadn't told me right away because she wanted to end everything before letting me know. Ending everything meant that she had waited for 3 days at the airport to catch Michael, who was planning to go abroad. She took out the concentrated sulfuric acid she had prepared in advance and poured it all over Michael. Michael's face was disfigured and his lower body was completely destroyed. He didn't die, but his suffering was unbearable. Even basic bodily functions became difficult for him. And Emily, in that moment as Michael screamed in agony, drank the sulfuric acid herself. In the final line of the email, she wrote, David, I wish there were a next life. I deleted the email and permanently blocked her account. Emily, you once illuminated my life, but in the end, you were never my moon. May we never meet again. In the next life, I will be my own moonlight.